All right, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining September's Benefit Booster. We're just going to spend a few moments talking about our prescription drug coverage and maybe share some things that you might not be familiar with on ways that you can maximize your benefits. But to start off, first, we just want to cover the pharmacy coverage that we have. It is with CVS Caremark. That is evident on the back of your insurance card. It may actually be on the front, but it's on your insurance card. And if you go into a retail pharmacy and pick up your medications, whether that's a CVS brick and mortar store or if it's another pharmacy that's participating, you're going to have 3 tiers of medication cost. Those are generic, brand name, and non-preferred drugs. And those costs are shown on the screen. $10 is what you would pay for a generic drug, unless the drug is actually less than $10. I have a medication I take that's only like $6.80, and they charge me the face value, $6.83, not the $10. But typically, you're going to be asked to do a copay at the pharmacy of either $10, $30, or in some cases, $45. Now, I do always encourage mail order because you can see the cost below on mail order is for 3-month or a 90-day supply. So if you picked up your generic medication, whatever that might be, instead of paying $10 each month for 3 months, you could get it delivered to your home for $20. So there's an immediate savings there of money, plus it's much more cost effective. And it works the same for brand. You get 90-day supply or 3 months for $50 and the non-preferred for $70. So we do really encourage everybody to take advantage of mail order whenever it makes sense. Okay, and so the ways that you can save immediately is a generic. When you go to the pharmacist or go to the doctor and they tell you they're going to write a prescription, or you go to get it filled at the pharmacy, ask them if there's a generic available to you. The generics that are on the market are proven to be as safe and as effective as the brand name. So there should be no reason why you wouldn't want to use the generic. Every now and then there's people who will say, well, the generic doesn't work as good for me. And if that's the situation, talk to your doctor about it, and you may be able to get the brand name. You'll pay the higher amount, but if you don't have good results with generic, there is that option. But just want you to know that it's not a cheaper or a less effective drug. It has met the same FDA requirements. Another way that you can save, as we mentioned on the first slide, is mail order. Now, there's a lot of things I like about mail order. Number one, I don't like standing in line at the pharmacy. Okay, so it's very convenient. We've already explained that you're going to save money. It's like getting 1 month free, 2 for the cost, or 3 months for the cost of 2 in a lot of cases. When I have my medication set up for automatic refills, I don't even have to think about it. CVS Caremark is going to automatically send it to my home at the time that it's set up for renewal, if you check the box auto renewal on their website. So it's super easy. I can't forget, I can't run out. And then even more so, you've got the privacy issue. You don't want to stand in line at a small town pharmacy waiting to pick up your medication and everybody and their brothers wanting to know what you're there for. If you don't want to worry about it, hey, it comes in a little package like Amazon, and nobody knows what's inside. So I do like that. And many people like myself live in small towns. So if instead of driving 40 minutes to get to CVS in Starkville, it comes right to my mailbox. I mean, I just can't beat mail order. There's so many things to love about it. All right. So when you are at the doctor's office, typically they're going to ask you, what pharmacy do you want to use? It's kind of part of their welcome to the doctor routine. Are you having any problems? They take all your stats, and then they'll say, which pharmacy do you use? You're always going to save money if you use a participating pharmacy. Now, we know without a doubt CVS is going to be participating, but it would be nice to, if you live in a small rural town, you want to know, is your pharmacy a participant? And you can see that on the website. Like I know in Macon, City Drug is a participant. I can get my prescriptions filled there if I want to. There's just another plug for mail order. If you are on a maintenance drug like blood pressure medicine and you take it all the time, just let them know you want CVS Caremark mail order. The doctor's office will set it up for you and you won't have to do anything. If it's a 1-year prescription, they'll write it up. They'll send it to CVS Caremark and it will be set up automated. All you'd want to do is go to the website and put in your preferred payment arrangement, and if you want it on auto renewal, and it'll be simple, like one step and done. So, when we hear like non-formulary, that's what's going to be that top tier 3, the most expensive medications. So if you're wanting to look at what drugs does my insurance cover, what are considered non-preferred brands, there's a Caremark list that's out there, and it's updated quarterly. And you would be able to then determine if a medication isn't covered or if there are recommended substitutes. And if anybody has a question or we want to go back and look at that list, I'd be happy to pull it up, but it is on the Caremark website, and I think I'll probably go to that for another reason, and we can look at it. Okay, yeah. So if there is a drug that you are taking that is not covered by insurance, our insurance, and you wanted to see, okay, it's not covered by insurance. Maybe it's a new drug that's come out on the market. It's not on the formulary. Are there any other savings available to me where I can get a better cost for the drug? And this Curved I think is how it's pronounced, Curved or Curved, is an option. But when I want to step back and just talk about Prilosec as an example that I gave there. In 1980, it was a new drug. It was expensive, and it was it used to be advertised on the TV all the time, and everybody wanted that I think it was for heartburn medication. I'm not really sure, but it was very, very popular. Now you buy it over the counter because as trademarks expire and then it becomes more easily available and more people are making it, years later, it becomes an over-the-counter drug. And that's why it's important to know that formularies are updated quarterly, because a drug that you might have been recommended to take a year or 2 ago that wasn't covered by insurance, or it was a non-preferred drug, may be the normal drug now. So it is important to always look at current formularies. The other thing you can do is if, hey, my doctor doesn't cover this particular drug, you can ask if there's another option. And if there isn't an alternative drug that he or she will recommend, I just followed the link and went to the Curved website. And this would be, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this one, but I looked it up already. These are 3 different types of medications that may not be covered currently by our insurance. And so right now you can see the website is just going through the process and figuring out what I could get this medication for. It is not currently covered. It's a non-preferred brand. It's not covered under our insurance at all, at any tier. And I think I researched the reasons why on this is that there wasn't enough history to prove that it was successful. I mean, it's not an unsafe medication, but it's not one that our plan covers because they don't, the data that they've looked at doesn't show that this is a successful drug for the treating of the issue. Now, my doctor or whoever, the doctor says, this is what I think you should be doing. I'm having the problem. I want relief. I'm going to try the medication, even if my insurance isn't going to cover it, but I don't want to pay the $700 retail price because that's a lot of money. So this curved website will give me an opportunity to look for a better deal. And in this case, I can just put in my phone number and they will send me a coupon so that I could get the prescription filled. It may not be for the rest of my life, but I may not have to take this medication either for the rest of my life. But for a period of time, I can get coupons and help reduce the cost of that to as low as $10 a month, which is a wonderful savings for our employees. And this curved feature is a part of our insurance with Hub. So it's not, you know, it is a good, reputable website for you to be checking on. And as we said with the formularies, they are updated on a regular basis. So this medication that currently may not be covered 6 months from now may be. And so if I'm able to use the coupons for a few months, that's a win-win. Sorry. Okay. And the other thing I wanted to remind you about is your flexible spending account. That you should be using, if you have an FSA account, you should have that set up as your preferred method of payment at your brick and mortar pharmacy or your mail order pharmacy. So that payment for your medications are automatically coming out of your FSA balance, because that's a good way to use the money. But if you're not currently in FSA, you haven't enrolled in the flexible spending account, think about that during open enrollment this year. Because if you're spending $100 a month on medications, that's $1,200 in a year that you could be getting pre-tax dollars for. The nice thing is any leftover money at the end of the year may roll over into the next year. There's a 2.5 month grace period. So the monies that I set aside for 2024, I can spend up to March 15th of 2025. And a nice thing too, at the end of the year, if you've got money, you could stock up on over-the-counter medications like that Prilosec or Zyrtec or even Tums, any type of medication or supplies. You could go ahead and use those end of the year FSA dollars for those, or you could check out the FSA the FSA store website to see eligible products that are on there. Any types of medications or different things, you could pull them up there, and they give you, say like Zyrtec is showing right there as one of the best sellers on their website. And then they list even surprisingly eligible things. Did not realize 23andMe Health Service. But you can look at all the different items that may be eligible for FSA dollars if you have money left to spend. So I'm going to really do plug the FSA open enrollment for 2025. It is a great benefit to take advantage of. So at this point, I will open it up. If anybody has any questions, you can unmute and I'd be happy to answer those for you at this time.
Susan, I did have one question just in general about insurance, and like when we get our receipt for what the payment is, and it says like patient pays $10, the cash is $64.82. Does that mean the company had to pay $64.82, or does the company get some break where they're not having to pay that much as well?
Well, usually when you look at that EOB, if it's showing that it's $10 to the patient and 64 is the company paid, Oftentimes, though, there's another column that is total cost. And it might be that the total cost was 100 and the negotiated discount was 80, and then the employee cost was 10. So there are many times that there are negotiated discounts on drugs and services. That's why we're in network.
Okay.
Does that
Good.
answer the question?
Yes, and I
Yeah.
love seeing the FSA store. Like, I didn't realize a lot of that. Like, I really did think it was just like over the counter drugs or whatever, and prescriptions. I didn't realize all that equipment. Like, you could get a scale or whatever.
Yes, and I'm really surprised each year they add more and more stuff to that. But like, if you needed to buy a blood pressure machine or a cuff, to have at home, you could buy that.
Yeah.
That is an FSA eligible expense, as is humidifiers and all kinds of different things. The pictures of those items that came up, one of those is that thing that you stand on and it shakes
Oh my
to
goodness.
help with muscle core
Yeah.
strength. Did not know they started covering those under FSA, but they do.
Yep, that is
So,
neat. I like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of neat things. I do believe, I think in last year or the year before, I ordered the support stockings for flights,
Mm-hmm.
because the doctor had recommended wearing those for varicose veins. So if you need those for work, long flights, they're covered under the store also.
Nice.
Yeah. I was going to see if. Okay. Since we talked about the formulary plan briefly before we sign off, I will show you on CVS where that is. If you log in, and it's a great thing. Again, you can check to see what medications, if it's covered under your CVS coverage, you can look right there. But the right here, covered
Hey, it
drug
didn't
list
switch
and
screens.
formulary. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not showing it to you. I apologize.
That's okay.
Okay, so here is the formulary.
Okay.
So if you, and it does update regularly. So if there's a certain medication that you see advertised on TV, or your doctor has said, hey, this is new, you might want to try this, this would be a way that you could turn around and look it up yourself to see if it's on the formulary.
Very good. I would have
Yeah.
been looking for the word formulary, so I'm glad you showed me that.
Yeah, and it does. I think it said it in parentheses, but I didn't have it on my screen at the time. And my
yeah,
apologies. Is right down here, covered drug list formulary.
Oh yeah.
Do you
Okay.
see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other thing that I like on the website, if you want to check and see if a drug, what it's covered, what it'll cost you. I think we looked at this one. Let's see. It won't work. Tried to do it before. Okay. I will do this one. Okay, so you hear about this great new drug, you want to see what's available. If CVS covers it, it'll either tell you that it's not covered, or it'll say, here's this generic for, can't pronounce, Logemius. It's $10 for 3 months. If I do, gosh, I guess it must be a 90-day prescription here. It does. At CVS in Starkville, I could pick it up for $10, or I could get 3 months for $20.
Wow.
So I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. I guess they're telling me I would pay $10 a month for each of the 3 months, maybe here, but it does tell you that I would pay 29% of the cost and my plan would pay the other the 61 or 71%. But I mean, that's kind of neat. Again, if you want to know, you always hear people say, well, this prescription was so expensive. If you want to know before you go to the pharmacy, you can look it up online. It's a nice resource.
Yes.
Any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. If you have ideas for future benefit boosters, we sure would appreciate you shooting us an email or just dropping us a suggestion. We would like to continue to offer information that you find valuable.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.